period has now come to a close. We now are entering what I call the tending and looking after period. Though there are still some seeds to sow. Looking at last year's uploads, this time last year I'd already sown the runner beans and they're still to sow, though the sweet corn had just been sown, and I was just starting to sow the dwarf French beans. No two seasons are ever alike, and one must react to whatever circumstances that Mother Nature throws at us. Though I notice I'm still wearing the same shirt as today, I can assure you that's pure coincidence. My name's Mike Brotherton, and I make videos of my allotment and the occasional woodworking project. My dwarf French beans and carrots, sown on the 18th of May, broke surface on the 31st of May. That's a 10-day period. French beans by the end of the week, helped by Friday's rain, had shot on at an alarming rate, obviously happy with their location. The Swede, sown on the 27th of May, they've made their appearance, and they made that on the 4th of June, a 6-day germination period. I kept wondering if I soaked the seeds in F.N.J. would have had a better result. This is the type of information I want to know, and there's no research. Well, I soaked 10 seeds in rainwater and 10 seeds in F.N.J. and left them to soak overnight. And when I inspected them in the morning, there was no difference. But I soaked some Jiffy pellets in rainwater, another 10 Jiffy pellets in F.N.J. and I popped the seeds into them. The ones that had been soaked in F.N.J, I put them into the F.N.J pallets and so on. Then I took some kitchen roll, soaked one piece in F.N.J and the other in rainwater, folded them over and then placed 10 seeds in each one. Put them into a plastic bag and I left them, and we'll see how they do. What surprised me was after 24 hours when I opened, there was no difference on the ones that had been soaked in water, but the F.N.J seeds had sprouted roots. Very difficult to see, but they were there, and I did have difficulty in photographing them, and I resorted in the end to my iPhone, but I need a better camera to take that. And then on the second day, which is 48 hours later, the rainwater seeds also sprouted, and then today, on the third day, all the seeds have sprouted cotedons. And I don't know whether it's me, my eyesight, or what, but it seems that the F.N.J cotedons are much more substantial than the water ones, but I could be guessing, so I've got to keep that experiment going, and we'll see how it goes on for next week. I'm having difficulty, as I said before, recording this, and I think it's a two-person job. It's working the camera and getting the shot right. And on Wednesday I'll be asking David for his help, and he has a better camera than what I do, and he might be able to take some decent shots. So we'll see what happens next week. Now, on the other hand, if you saw last week's video, you may have noticed on this side there were some Jiffy pellets and they had beetroot in. There was 48 of them. Well, I separated those 48 into two piles of 24, and one I've been watering with water and the other I've been watering with F.N.J. Again, I can't make my mind up whether the ones with the F.N.J are better than the plain water. I think they are. I think they're standing more erect. So I took them to the plot and I asked Kevin for his candid opinion. Morning Kevin, how you doing?
Morning Mike, I'm fine.
Got to ask a favour of you. Can you see any difference between these two, what are they, seedlings of beetroot? They were sown on the same day, all exactly the same seed, same compost, everything. Can you see any difference between them?
Not really, apart from the ones furthest from you are a little bit more upright, that's about all.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. They're just a little bit more straighter, aren't they?
Yeah.
Stood up to attention. Yeah, thanks for that. You want to know what the difference is?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, one I've used a nettle feed, that's the upright ones, and the lazy ones I've just used rainwater.
Right.
Okay. Anyway, thanks for that.
All right.
And then I saw another plotter, older John, and I asked him what he thought, and they sort of agreed the difference was minimal, but they felt that the ones on the left hand side were standing more erect, and the ones on the left hand side to them was the F.N.J. So again, those have been planted out, and I'll continue to feed them once a week as they are. Beetroot seedlings that are treated with the F.N.J were planted in the root bed west of the parsnips, and the controlled beetroot planted to the east of the parsnips, and never the twain will meet. We will of course observe their progress and record how they have fared. Number 11 is the number 1 brassica bed this season, of which I planted garden centre plants, having not sown my own due to the polytunnel repairs, which have not had a good start in life. Planted out in a warm period, followed by hard frost, after which I thought I'd lost them, but with a bit of TLC have come back to life, and this week I concentrated on some serious weeding, mainly the dreaded bindweed. The support canes to the centre plants are a row of Brussels, and I inserted small lengths of plastic tubes to hold up the enviro mesh, and also inserted some slug defenders. All in all, looking better. But time's running out. I've no knife or sharp tool, instrument or anything to adjust the enviro, so I thought I'll leave it till tomorrow. Bad decision. Next day I recorded damage done by the birds on a couple of uncovered plants. My fault. Silly me. Friday it rained all day. Still went to the plot. Had to cover up those brassicas on bed 11. And admired the growth on the French beans in bed 13. Fresh rain is wonderful, it's magic. Who would have thought we'd have had this much growth in just 4 days? What I'm doing here in the rain is just pressing the mulching compost down, which have been forced upwards with the power of the beans. And the rain was an opportunity to enviro another vent. Because it's raining, can't video outside, so handheld shots only. When I visited Kevin earlier, I had to have a quick walk around his plot. Kevin runs a pretty neat and tidy plot and is an experienced gardener. One of the things I wanted to see was his broad beans. He'd grown 3 batches of beans at different times. I just wanted to see whether they'd caught up like mine had. These here, when did you sow these here?
I sowed them in February in pots. Greenhouse.
In pots. And what about these here?
In the end of October.
Right, you've got black fly here, by the way.
Yeah.
What I wasn't expecting was to see a black fly, and that's a great wake-up call for me. As soon as I get back to the plot, I must get those beans of mine pinched out on the top as a preventative. Pronto. Which I did. Pronto. I also did it straight away. To make fermented plant juice, I will need a good source of rainwater, not only for the F.N.J, but as a water-saving discipline. And at the moment, the polytunnel is my only option. And for the time being, it is holding a sowing of peas, which were getting in my way inside the poly anyhow. I also need more nettles, and there's loads beneath this pylon. I mean, loads. That's it for this week. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did so, thumbs up would be nice, and please comment. I do look forward to your comments. I had some good comments last week, and if you've not already done so, please subscribe, and to get further notifications of any uploads, please press the bell icon. Which leaves me just to say thank you for watching, and hope we'll see you next week. So all I can say now is bye.